Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I have to talk about burnout because I'm almost totally burned out with YouTube and gaming. It's something that every creative person goes through eventually at some point on their journey, and right now I'm there. I'm at the burnout phase. I am just about at my absolute limit for content creation. And I know that some very kind people in the comments will inevitably say, but you can't burn out. You never even caught fire. You were never famous enough. You know, you can't burn out when you're a nobody, blah, blah, blah. And like, I know, okay, I'm not PewDiePie. I'm not H3H3. The internet's not going to come screeching to a halt. I'm not going to end up on drama alert if I take a break for a while or whatever. Like, I get that. I've just been doing my own thing over here on this channel for a very long time now. Speaking of which, I don't know how many of you have been here, or how long all of you have been following me. You know, people came on at different times along the way. But I've been making YouTube videos full-time for about 8 years now. That is almost a decade of YouTube videos with a minimum of one piece of content per day. Very rarely are there days that go by where I don't have content. And you know, I'm also doing other stuff every day, other platforms, sometimes multiple uploads. So if you want to look at an average, it's probably like 1.5 to 2 videos per day, which means in the last couple of years, I've made about 5,000 different videos, streams, vlogs, highlights, Twitter commentaries, things on Machinima, little pieces of content in that time. And the vast majority of these weren't like live commentaries. I was always super envious of the guys that could just play the game, get the live commentary, have fun, chop it up, upload, and be done. The vast majority of them were higher production value, thought out, planned, something meaningful, you know, something that took some effort. But if you think about it, that's 5,000 productions, 5,000 individual ideas, 5,000 little pieces of art. I don't really consider YouTube and the things that I do here to be art, but I get that it's like a little artistic, so I'll call them little art, baby arts, you know. But at that pace for that period of time, it's draining. It's truly draining, and after some time of being constantly drained, the video juice is running dry. The desire to continue to make videos is dwindling. We're talking about on an emotional level. And speaking of that, burnout feels weird. You know, I thought burnout would feel like depression, like miserable, don't want to wake up, don't want to exist, that sort of horrible, overbearing depression that just crushes you, which I've gone through before. But I don't feel super bad. I don't feel super depressed. I feel a little bit down overall from day to day. But my desire to get up and edit or record or play games or work on stuff is at an absolute all-time low, especially when it comes to guides. I am so over guides. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. But to describe this feeling, I think it would be best to say that it feels like something is missing in my life. Like I have a big hole in my chest and I can just feel the air flowing through me and it's cold and I know something's wrong. Because some days I'll look at a video project and I'll feel absolutely nothing at all. Complete ambivalence, indifference, just don't care, whatever, finish it, get it done, go to bed, go do something else. And the rational part of my brain sees this as a warning signal. It'll say, hey, don't you like this stuff? Don't you like making videos? I thought it made you feel good to make videos. I thought you made videos for fun. And the emotional side of my brain will just go, I guess it's all right, you know, it's workable. That sort of fire, that passion, that real desire to make content, especially guides, isn't there. Very rarely do I want to do an in-depth episode. It's usually something else. And it's for me, this is kind of like a wake-up call that something's wrong. And speaking of the comment section, I know it's coming on Twitter. I know it's coming in the comments. It's going to be, you should get a real job and then complain. Gaming is easy. Anybody can do it. You know, please cry some more about how much money you make for how little work you put in. You're mad because you're washed up now and nobody watches you and you want sympathy. Blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of blah, 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 okay? I get that, you know, my life is pretty good. Even burned out is still pretty good. I'm happy with where I'm at right now. And not everybody has that kind of satisfaction, but everybody, regardless of what scale they're on, from the poorest person to the richest person in the world, has some sort of problems, some things, and those problems are to some degree relative. And mine is just that I'm burning out, and I know it. You know, making content of any kind takes some kind of mental effort, which is where I've been drained. You know, if you're making a video, if you're making a graphics or an image, if you're writing, if you're composing songs, if you're doing coding or any sort of building a car, any sort of creative project takes mental effort. You have to sit there and you have to think about it, you have to plan it, you have to put effort and work into it, you have to make your creation, your imagination come to life, and there is some cost to that, you know, some mental drain, of course. And my brain is just tired. My brain is numb feeling. It's goofy. I feel like I've got a head full of oatmeal. And on most days, my brain feels like it's absolutely scrambling to come up with some kind of video idea. Like I'm just scraping the bottom of the chum barrel for video ideas. And things that used to excite me really don't. Like I used to see a new gun and be like, man, I can't wait to get that and do in-depth on that thing. And now it's like... I can do it, sure, I'll buy it for $50 and try it out and do the in-depth. And when you feel like that, it's hard to make meaningful content. And I've gone pretty hard this past fall. Like from October to January, I hit it super hard. I had a good time with Black Ops 4, even though in-depth was a big grind. But with the burnout happening, I realized that my content is becoming less meaningful. And you've probably already seen the change in the content, especially in the last week or so with all the live commentaries with me and J-Hub and Chaos and T Martin and some of the more offbeat pieces of content on the channel. Some of it is because I was in Peru for a week for a friend's wedding, and that's all that I could do in advance. All that I could get uploaded was 0.1 megabit internet that was spotty, you know, and it was that or nothing. And Peru in itself was an opportunity for me to just completely avoid responsibility in videos for as long as possible. I mean, I was out there. Peru is technically a third world country, okay? Let's be honest. It wasn't luxurious. It was more like an adventure trip. I was out there sweating, getting sunburned, get hit by a car, all this kind of stuff. But all that was preferable to working on videos. I just didn't want to do it, you know, and some of it's just because I'm plain tired of making guides, which is the crux of this video, and I'm sure the next sentence is going to cause like a whole wave of unsubscriptions. And that's that I don't know if in-depth has a future on this channel. At least not a lot of immediate content. Like in the next couple, I'm not doing the Cap 40 in-depth. I'm going to finish the Outlaw in-depth because I finish the guns every year. I'm going to get that done. I have a fun plan for that episode. It's probably not going to be very in-depth. It's going to be something a little different. But I'll bring in-depth back in a couple of months or so. I need a break from in-depth. I've been doing guides on YouTube for 8 years now. I think I was one of the first YouTubers to do these type of guides. A lot of people do them now, and I'm sure that a lot of people are going to tell me Exclusive Ace is better in any way, and that's great. Ace is fantastic. He's been doing good content for years, and it's good that he's finally getting the credit for it. But doing that type of content is melting my brain. It's just short-circuiting me. It's numbers upon numbers upon numbers and checking this frame rounding and do this calculation and test this thing, walk 5 meters that way, walk 5 meters this way, measure it in theater mode, make this graph, do this comparison. And that's boring. I mean, it's neat to learn things, right? I mean, I have a background in that. I like learning things. I like testing things to an extent. But after a while, it gets tedious, it gets tiresome, I don't want to do it. The way it ends up is that I don't really play the game that I'm supposed to be playing. I'm basically just doing a new in-depth experiment every single match. I'm trying something that, you know, should work based on these numbers. I'm trying to get this gameplay, I'm trying to film for this thing. And I'm never really like playing the games very much. I do a little bit on stream. Streaming's been good for me. Streaming's my favorite thing that I've done in the last couple of years. It sucks that YouTube died, and I got unpartnered on Twitch. I have to sort that out. I'm Mixer only for now, so you can find me on Mixer. I'm still going to be streaming. But every match is just some theory to test, and it made me stop enjoying the games I was playing, thus causing the burnout. The good news is, here at the end of this video, is that I don't think I'm 100% burned out yet. There's definitely some fire still left in me. I still want to make some videos. There are some projects in my head I want to work on, some things I want to film. I still have that mindset. My eye is always looking for something to film. That never gets turned off. I'm working on little Twitter content and vlogs, and I'm not going to spoil some of the neater things I'm trying to do for the future. So I want to work on alternative forms of content because I need to change, not for money. It's been the best year of my life for money. I'm doing good there for the first time in probably forever. Let's hope that it stays that way. You know, it's not for ease of work. I'm not afraid of hard work, but truly for my mental health. If I keep churning out guides at this rate and sort of mindless hype news releases sort of content, I will actually go crazy. I will actually completely have a psychotic break and lose my mind. And as of today, I don't even have a good plan for what kind of content is coming in the future instead of guides, because I know guides and philosophy are the backbones of this channel. Mostly the guides. The guides probably about 80% of the backbone. And it's kind of a bad idea to make a video like this without even having a backup plan, because this is the kind of video that ends channels. This is the kind of video that causes people to unsubscribe in waves, you know. Right now I've been playing with highlights and live commentaries, and to be honest, they're not really catching on. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if it's the content or the people I'm playing with or the editing style. I'm going to keep playing with them a little bit. It could quite simply be that you guys didn't subscribe for me, you subscribed for the guides, or maybe I'm not the kind of guy with a personality that can carry those kind of videos. Maybe I'm just not supposed to be that kind of person. So I've been thinking about it and playing with some ideas. I kind of want to play a wider variety of games. I'm thinking about getting into game reviews. I wanted to do some IRL science videos, some like real life sort of backyard science, but some neat stuff. I'll put my degree to use for once. Philosophical videos, and just, of course, some political videos. In the politics, that's mostly going to be content about climate change and environmental destruction. Those are big issues for me that I very rarely touch on this channel, so there'll be definitely some of that. And I don't know what the future is going to hold for this channel. This video today might be the one that tanks this entire channel. I become an old tuber and get washed up and nobody watches anymore and I just fade away and you find me working in Arby's 10 years from now. That could be my reality. Or the change could be nice and I could find something that is successful or explosively successful or just okay, or I could find something totally different in my life. I really don't know, but I do know that I have to change for my health, or I'm going to get completely burned out on everything and fall into an actual, like, real deep depression. And I hope that you guys stay with me. I'm going to need a few months of mental rest here. The videos will flow. It's just going to be all sorts of different stuff, probably. But the change is necessary for my soul, for my insides, for my mental health, whatever you want to call it. And I hope that those of you that are true fans will ride this out with me, and I hope we end up somewhere better than we are today. Guys, that's all for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.